Good morning, everyone. It's Erica here from Me To You Paper Crafts, coming to you live Monday morning. I've got my coffee. I call Mondays Mojo Monday because I like to get my mojo going for the week. Do I have to make any birthday cards, anniversary cards? Do I need to send a little note to someone? And I just generally kind of get organized for the week. So today I have a fun fold. I don't have a sample for you because I haven't yet made this card, but this is a really cute fun fold. I'm calling it the diagonal flip card. I haven't really seen it online, but I learned how to do this on Saturday when we had a bit of a team Zoom event. And a fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, Kate, she goes by the West Coast Paper Crafter. She showed us how to make this card. So just remembering her instructions, I will attempt to make this card this morning. And she used this really, really adorable cow set, which I did not buy this time. I know I didn't buy it. But I'm going to do the flowering zinnias. I did a presentation on the flowering zinnias sweet collection, so I'm going to carry on with that theme because I have cut and die cut and assembled flowers like crazy for that presentation, and I need to use up all that stuff. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. So I hope you enjoy. If you are new to me, please leave a comment and let me know where you're from. And if you're a follower, then just say hello this morning and let me know what's going on for you this week. What kind of crafting things have you got planned? All right, without further ado, I'm going to drop my camera down to my desktop and let's get started. So I'm just going to switch cameras here. Oh, my camera is really crooked. Let's just straighten that out, shall we? And come down to my desktop and move in. There we go. Okay. I can bring it down a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so peeking out from the top of my screen are some little bits and pieces that I've already cut out and I'm hoping to use on this card. I've got some designer series paper. I haven't quite decided which color or which print to use, but I've got my cardstock base, which is Melon Mambo. I thought I would pick up Melon Mambo from this paper. And I've got my gems that come with the suite. These have got 4 different colors in here. And then here's some more stuff I'm ready to assemble on another card. I did some coloring. So the stamp set is really kind of cool because, as many of our steps are cool this way, in that you can simply stamp the images and do a bunch of coloring. You could use your watercolor pencils or you could use your Stampin' blends. And so you can do that. And so here's an example of one where these 3 flowers I colored. Look at those. They're just gorgeous. Okay, I took my time coloring those. I did some blending. I used the light and the dark, and sometimes I even bring in a third color to color those. And then you can cut those out, die cut them out. And then, or you can choose to assemble flowers. I've got lots of samples of assembled flowers. You can layer them, you can mix the colors up or do a solid image. Here's an example of a flower that's ready to be put on a card. So that's just using Berry Burst. So you've got these centers that you can put on there, and you've got the little pistils that you can put on there. Those are those little star-shaped things that stick out from the flowers. Do Google zinnias. They're just an amazing flower. I have never had them in my garden, but apparently they're really good to grow, easy to grow, and they last a long, long time. And that's I'm always looking for something like that. So here's another example of a flower here. Yeah, so I've got lots of flowers and lots of bits and pieces. I usually just, when I've got the dies out, I just grab a bunch of colored cardstock that matches with the paper or coordinates with the paper. And then I just start die cutting, and then I have a box full of stuff that I could just quickly assemble. Okay, so that's a little bit about the stamp set. So I'm going to be finishing up that card later. Okay, and then you've got a beautiful set of dies here. These dies are just spectacular. So you've got 2 layers of the flowers. This one, it cuts out the triple flower bouquet. This one cuts out the single flower, and then there's lots of little elements for leaves. Here's your stem. And then you've got these 2 pieces that layer to make a cute little flowering bud. And then these are little, they look like little stars, but they're actually the little pistils that you can add to the flower. So it's just an amazing set. I've been having so much fun with it. I've got lots of samples to show you, but we'll get started with our card. It also comes in the Sweet Collection with this fantastic embossing folder. So it's just a whole bunch of zinnias. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, so let's get started creating. Okay, so to start with, you need a card base that is a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. And I am simply going to score this at 4.25 so that I get my half fold. So 4.25. And score that. Okay, so there's my card base. And then there's another piece of cardstock here that you need to create. It's like a card on a card. You'll see what I mean when we get going. But this one measures, this is 8.5 inches by 3.25 inches. And then you're going to score it at 4.25. So you're just scoring this again in half. So you've got 2 cards, different sizes, but they're both scored at 4.25. So this becomes kind of like the inside card. Okay, so you've got a card and a card. Okay, two cards. Okay. Now to decide on the designer series paper, who's here this morning? Carol, hi, good morning. The coloring on the zinnias is lovely. Thank you. Yeah, I took my time coloring those zinnias. All right, so maybe you can help me and pick out which designer series paper to use on the front of this card. I was thinking tone on tone. So at first I was thinking of this pattern here. It's zinnias on, see the zinnias in the Melon Mambo on Melon Mambo. So I was thinking of doing that as a background, but it's a little dark, I'm thinking. And so I was thinking of cutting this piece 4 by 5.25. Let's just cut it and then see. So let's cut this down to 4 inches. 4 by 4 and 4 by 5.25. I want. Then we're going to cut it on the diagonal. 4 by 5.25. Okay. So I'm thinking maybe not this piece. I'm thinking this piece. I think this looks way better because then we're going to cut that on the diagonal and we're going to have this piece come on top. So if I use this piece, it's, I think, too much pink. I'm sure you'll agree with me. Yes, too much pink. Okay, so let's do this one. So the next step, okay, 2 steps. The first step is we're going to cut the front of the card on a diagonal. So you're going to line up the center fold here with the bottom right-hand corner. Okay, so just position that in your track. Let me pull this into the center of the camera. So sometimes you have to kind of wiggle back and forth to get both corners in the right spot. Okay, that looks pretty good. And when I cut, I never cut up from the bottom corner. You can't see it. Let me pull this up a bit. Because if your blade is, starting to lose its sharpness, this could completely crumble up or crush up that corner. So I always sort of start somewhere on the card stock itself and come, whoops, I just moved my paper. Come down and then go back up to that corner. Whoops, and that didn't quite cut. I think I'll finish that off with my scissors. Hang on a sec. Where are the scissors? Oh, it's just hanging on by, oh, we're good. It's just hanging on by a thread there. Okay, so now the front of my card is cut on a diagonal like that. And this piece, I guess you can use on another project. You could emboss this and put it on another project. You could even cut it down a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I moved my paper when it was in the trimmer and it's not quite at the corner. I can tell by this, see how it's got a little square at the top? It kind of shifted, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take this piece. Now this is 4 by 5 1/4 inch. And so you're going to have a bit of a border on here, but we're going to also cut this on the diagonal. Now again, don't cut from the up from the corner or down from the corner. Okay, it's pretty good. I'm going to hold it a little bit tighter this time. There we go. Okay. Allow me to take a sip of my coffee. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked this piece better, Carol. Okay, so this is going to come on here like this. And it is butted up against this edge here, and then you've got the border at the bottom and on the side. So you just want to position that on there. Okay, so you're best again to use your Tombow glue to ensure that you can kind of maybe move it around a little bit. So I'm going to make sure my borders are nice and even here. I'm going to pull this down a little bit. I'm going to try and do that. And then I'm going to trim because I, missed the edge of that cardstock. I'm just going to trim that down a little bit. So let me grab my Tombow glue here. And let's put some on here. Don't go too close to your edges. But I am going to use my finger and just put some right on those corners because you want to make sure the corners stick down. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here like this. So take your time. See, you gotta love that Tombow because it slides. Okay, that didn't give me much of an edge there. Don't know if I can get this off now. Funny, it fit great before I put the glue on. That's better. I might have to do a bit of trimming. Okay, that's better. Now I've got a bit of glue here, so I'm taking out my glue eraser. I'm just gonna, there we go, take that off. Okay. So I'm gonna trim, and I've got some little bits. Again, because that cardstock shifted a bit, it's not a very clean edge there. So I think we'll be okay. Really hard to trim a fine line like that. Let me grab my, see if I can clean that edge up with my little trimmer here. Yes, this will work. There we go. That'll do. Okay. All right, so we've got that on there. Now, this second piece is going on the inside of the card up in this corner. So again, you want to create a little edge there. So you're going to put that inside like that. I'm just going to tidy up. I think I need a new blade on my trimmer. I've been saying that for weeks now. And I haven't changed it. So just give yourself about 1/8 of an inch border on here. Okay, so now your card kind of looks like this. Okay, so it's a card with 2 diagonals on it, but the front is trimmed down on the diagonal. So that's your card base. All right, now we've got this small little card here. Now, what's going to happen with this little card is that it is going to be placed inside, look at that, inside the card. Now, the thing you want to watch for is that you see this top corner here? I'm going to pull my camera down so you can see it better. You don't want this to rest on the diagonal, okay? You want to make sure you stay clear of that. So when you're putting it back in, it is more or less centered on the card, but just try and avoid that top corner from resting on here. All right, so now here's a decision that you can make depending on the stamp set that you're using. You could choose to create your own matching DSP. So I've cut 2 pieces of basic white cardstock, and these measure, let me pull my camera up again. These measure, there we go. These 2 pieces measure 3 by 4. Okay, so one is for the inside of this. This is where you're writing your message on the smaller card. So this is 3 by 4 inches, okay? And then this one is meant for the top. But if you don't want to design your own top, and this is the focal point of the front of your card, okay? So when you put your card together, this is going to be on the front of your card. So you could, I could emboss this with that beautiful embossing folder. And I thought that I would just put these pieces on. Now, these pieces, these flowers are from a piece of the designer series paper that has flowers on it that you can fussy cut. There's no die that will cut them out. We've got this piece, and these overlap a lot. So these are a lot more difficult to cut out. I mean, you could, but you kind of destroy a lot of the paper itself. There's a better sheet that you can cut. Let me just find it. Let's just find it. Here it is. So this sheet, you can fussy cut the flowers. So I always, it's hard to cut working on this whole sheet. So I find myself a little path that I cut, all the way up. I cut a little path and then I'm only working with, a narrow piece of paper to cut out those flowers. But isn't that pretty? You've got some double flowers that you can look at these, how pretty that is. You can double cut those out, then you've got your singles. So I will probably be cutting up, even though on the back there's got this gorgeous grape color on the back, which makes a great background color. But you get 2 sheets of each. So typically I cut up one sheet and then I leave the other sheet. See, so I've been cutting up a sheet, and so I have this piece still to cut out flowers. And then I reserve the other sheet to use as my background because I love that purple background. It's so pretty. Okay. So I could have chosen, let's see, where are my scraps in here? Let's see if I have, see, I could put this purple piece. Let's see how wide this piece is. So I could even do a bit more layering on here. So I could layer this piece on top of this piece. And then I could build my flowers on here. And I think I like it better on the white. But I'm just giving you bunches of suggestions. So you could even stamp, you could even take, say, for example, you could take this zinnia here. You could even just stamp a bunch of leaves on this piece and then put your flowers on, or you could stamp these in the background in like just a purple color to make a flourish and then add these on top. There's just any number of things that you can do, but I think for today I might just emboss this and then mount these flowers on top. That was kind of my thought for today. I will definitely be making more of these cards, this fun fold, because I think it's a cute one. I kind of think in the past I have made this before, but I'm not sure. Okay, so let's. Now these zinnias are typically, when you look at an embossing folder, the image is kind of built this way, but on this embossing folder, the images are this way. So just make sure you orient your cardstock, the right way. Before you emboss it. So we had an impromptu fun evening last night. Devin, my daughter, called me. Hey, good morning, Christine. Devin called yesterday morning. We'd already planned to do a lunch together because I haven't really seen her much. So we went out for lunch together, and then she had asked if she could come over with Travis and watch the Academy Awards. So that's what we did. So I went for lunch with her, then we went and picked up Travis at her home in Langford, and then we went to the liquor store to get some beverages, and then we went to the grocery store to get some food for dinner, and Phil made a fabulous meat based spaghetti sauce. So we had spaghetti, I made my Caesar salad dressing, and I made homemade garlic bread, which is one of Travis's favorites. So we had a really nice evening together watching the Academy Awards, even though there was only one movie I'd seen. No, 2 movies I had seen. Really helps to have seen the movies. Okay, so let's glue this on because there were some movies that got quite a few awards and I hadn't seen the movie, so I had no idea what it was about. You don't go to the theater hardly ever anymore. Okay, so I'm just gluing this on here. Okay. Now, also, when you cut out the designer series paper, the flowers, make sure you cut the flowers from the edges. See, this is the bottom corner of the paper because they're fantastic for putting inside your cards, or like I'm going to do now, I'm going to just kind of do a bit of a collage on here. Let's see how I make out. And this is a full solid one. So maybe I should do, I'm going to put this down here. I'm just playing with the design. Put this one here. See, these are all edge pieces. Okay. So you let me know. Yes, Naiad. I saw Naiad. Absolutely fabulous film. I was kind of sad that Annette Bening didn't win because she was amazing in that. And Rustin. I don't know that movie, Carol. Rustin? But there was another couple of movies that I not even heard of and I was kind of sad that the Native American film based on a true story didn't get nominated for best film because it was riveting. So I am kind of liking this the way it is. I was going to throw this on in the center, but I think that makes it too busy. I kind of like that just the way it is. Now, I could choose to put a greeting across here. There's a couple of different greetings in the stamp set. This one's too big for now, but words fail to express my gratitude. I've got a thank you so much, and I've got sending flowers and thinking of you. And these long stamp sets, don't get intimidated by them being so long because you could easily stamp it and then just snip it and make two of them. So you could even separate the sending flowers. I could put that right here. Let's try that. And thinking of you on the inside of the card. Let's give that a go and see how that works out. So let's throw that away. So yeah, what do you think of this? I think I like it a lot. Now I could fill in, there's other leaves that you can die cut. And the stamp set the dies allow you to cut these little, what I call leaf veins, and you can glue these on top of the leaves if you want. Okay, so that's kind of what that looks like. So I don't know if you guys know my latest sort of trick is my new gluing technique. I just kind of put a little bit of glue on my hand, and then I kind of just pounce the die cut on my hand and then put it on my leaf. That's my new trick. I mean, it's non-toxic. Okay, so there's my little vein on that's Old Olive, and then there's one in the Lemon Lime Twist. So I could add a couple of extra leaves maybe to fill in the gap. I kind of like it just the way it is. I like that little bit of white space. Maybe I'll put those on the inside or on the envelope. Okay, so for the inside, okay, let's get that greeting out and do something with this. So I'm going to use, I think I'll just stick with black, and I need a large, long block. Yes, I watched Barbie. I watched Oppenheimer. I watched The Flowers of the Something Moon, Naiad. I think I watched 4 of them. Okay, let's get the first of the scrap paper here. Let's do the black. So I'm going to stamp that and then snip it. Now, another idea, I'm going to show you a couple of other tips. So another tip is you can ink up the whole thing, and then you could grab a Post-it note. And I'm just going to cover up the other half. So you cover up half of the greeting, and then you go ahead and actually, I'm doing this wrong. There's ink on here. Let me start again. Sorry. Okay, you cover up half with a Post-it note. Try and get the sticky bit on there. Okay. Then you ink up the side that you want. So I'm just going to ink that up. Then you take the sticky note off, and then you stamp the greeting. So you only stamp half that greeting. See, sending flowers. So I'm going to snip this. I'll do it on an angle. So I might put that right there. You tell me what you think. And then if you want the other one, you do the opposite. Now, actually, to be honest with you, Post-it notes I don't think work as well because, I don't know. I like tape. Tape works great. So this one, I want the other half. So I'm going to tape over the flower bit. And I'm going to ink up this half. Oh, I'm actually inking up the inside of my card. I'm going to take the tape off now. And then I'm going to stamp in my card. I'm thinking of you. Okay. So that's how you can separate that. Now, another tip I love is you could maybe sponge the edges. I don't know. I think it looks okay the way it is. I'm off camera. Am I off camera now? I think I'm okay. Sorry. I wish, it might be kind of rude, but it would be kind of cool if you could ring a bell to get my attention, to let me know that stuff. Let's just put some dimensional on here. Let's see how that works. Here. Okay, so we've got our greeting for the outside. Now I've got to glue these. I have to glue these on first. Let's do that. So, Christine, did you enjoy Saturday's presentations? I think I saw that you posted your card already. Very cute. I have to take photos today of my cards and get those posted. I'm gonna let that one overlap on the top, I think, a little bit. Okay. This is going to go on the front. This fun fold lends itself to so many different things. Sending flowers. Put that like that. And I don't know. Throw a leaf in there or not. I don't think it needs it. What do you guys think? No, I think it's good by itself, but what I will put on are some gemstones. Okay, now for the inside of this card, I think that's kind of sweet. Let's just put a leaf inside the card. Just looking at my other scraps. Okay, now we're going to glue this to the inside of the card. Let's pull in my silicone sheet here. All right, so there's the inside of the card. And there's the outside of the card. So we're ready to now glue this. You're putting glue on the back and you're just going to position it. Still getting these hairy bits here. Okay. So again, just watch this top corner here. So you're just going to lay this in like this. Okay. So I'm going to use Tombow again, just so I can move it around a bit. And then hold that down for a few seconds. Thanks, Christine. It is an amazing community for sharing. Everybody's pretty generous with showing what they've made. And you get so many more ideas. All right, so there is our card, you guys. So flip and flip. Isn't that sweet? Now, if you wanted a bit of contrast between this card and this card, the card base being that they're the same color, and keep in mind, these do not have to be the same color. You know, this could be melon mambo, and then this could have been maybe the green. You know, you don't have to make them matching at all. There's so many variations that you can do with this card. Yeah, it's just fantastic card. Okay, so I'm just going to put a few of these beautiful, you know how I love bling, and I might put some of the green ones on there. Let me just cap my glue. I learned a tip on Saturday I'll share with you guys. I use alcohol, rubbing alcohol, to clean my acrylic blocks. But I usually have a bunch of squares that I've cut up of paper towel and keep them in my drawer here. And then I take the paper towel, put it on the top of the bottle, flip it over to get some alcohol on it, and then I clean my things. And Kate suggested that you put alcohol in a little spritzer bottle, and then you can just, spritz it on your blocks and then wipe it off. I thought that was kind of cool. And it's also handy for cleaning your scissors. You spritz your scissors and then clean them off with your paper towels. And you could spritz your, you clean your paper trimmer, spritz on your paper trimmer and get that cleaned off. I just thought it was just, she just thought it was an easier way of applying alcohol. So I kind of like that idea. Okay, let's grab my take your pick tool and let's pick up some of these. Let's do green today. So there's a large and a small. There we go. Just fills in the white space. That's what embellishments are all about. They help to fill in any white space that you are not comfortable with. So there you go. There's your card this morning. Now you could put some Wink Estelle on here if you wanted to. These gemstones are perfect for putting in as centers. There's some yellow ones and orange ones, so you could use these as the centers on these flowers. Here's another tip I'm going to show you. I take a Post-it note just to help me know where my edge is. I put this Post-it note in here. You see, and then I can pull up my edge to slide my sequins in. That's my little tip there. Okay. Thanks for spending time with me this morning. I hope you'll make a card. Christine, you already made a card, but maybe you'll make one with a different theme. But I think it's really a sweet card. Can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So thanks for spending time with me this morning. And I will see you on Thursday night. Now, Thursday night, I'm going to be doing a case the caddy for the new cafe latte set, or a little latte suite of products. Absolutely stunning products in that suite as well. So we'll see you on Thursday night. Have a great week, ladies. And we'll see you on Thursday night. Bye for now.